Okay, so we'll start. If somebody will come, then they will join later. Today we are having a jinky of communion. I will explain a little bit what we're doing here, as it's your first time. Every week we're discovering the key of the week. You know the jinky system. So, hello? Hi. Hello? So every week we're discovering the key of the week. This week it's 45, and it's a key of communion, and we go through 3 levels: frequency, so dominance, synergy, and communion is what we're going to discover today. And we also have a tea ceremony that supports us. Today is going to be 4 different teas: jasmine, 2 red teas, and water at the end. And the way how we do this process is that I start the transmission, then at some point we open space questions, contemplations, like your sharings about this. And then we kind of close again, go for silence, continue with gift, and have like 3 breaks for talking. And then at the end is a little meditation again. And it's a way to contemplate yourself. You can stay with closed eyes, open eyes, and also feel this energy in your body, how they're moving, how this key is about you particularly. And what I found that every time when somebody's coming for jinkies, because they come, it's like field and they need it in a way. Either they have birthday and they even didn't know that the key is connected with sun, or like some other things are going on in their lives, but it's normally connected. Do you want to say something?
Flashing your microphone.
Oh, because I didn't put it.
Oh.
Thank you for telling me.
I think actually for me it's right to the spot, because this is your last session here and this is my first session.
Yeah.
And also the circumstances when we met,
Yeah.
it was like the direct guidance.
Yes, always like in Bali. You know, I found you can plan meetings with somebody and like they could never happen, or with some person just meet like when it's needed.
Because I came back to yesterday, and so I was thinking, yes, that it's just perfect timing.
Yeah. So very happy to see you.
Yeah.
Want to say something about tea or anything you can share?
Yes. Yeah, we will have 4 teas today, as you mentioned, the sequence: green tea, then red, 2 reds, 1 pagoda in the red teas, and then 1 puer. And normally we increase, the teas get a little bit stronger as we rise the consciousness or raise the frequency. So enjoy this journey, enjoy the experience. It's very, I think, harmonizing and very complementary to do this together. And as well with this beautiful Gene Keys master here, who will as well guide us to Siddhi. So
Or Siddhi will find us themselves.
yes, we will not find it, it will find us. We will be open to it through the grace, for your grace.
Thank you. And also every time having a tea, we have a moment of just like silence.
Yes.
Connection. Maybe we do with this one is.
Yeah, so whenever we get a new tea as well, we normally do a bell, just feel the energy of the tea, and then we drink all together our first cup, and then afterwards we continue at your own pace. All right. Yeah,
Also very special day for me as it's a last transmission I'm giving here for a while. I don't know when I come back in Bali in 6 months. Of course, I will continue online. So also if anytime you will like want to join the line, I'll do it every Tuesday. Even online, I still like continue this flow. I started to do it last September. So it's soon gonna be a year, and yeah, it's a magical pass through all the keys and activations and see how they reflected in the life. And always so accurate, and always also when I know I have some keys in my chart, they kind of affect deeper. As this 145, for example, I have in my purpose. It's like purpose kind of life and purpose of relationship. It's in a 2 positions at the same time. And but even if we don't have like in a deeper level, we have all keys in our system. So this is also what Richard Rod said, that we have all the keys. Doesn't matter like you have it in your personal chart or not. You anyway, the point even of this gene keys is go beyond this. So it's like so we discover it, and in a way just to let it go. Learn something and then integrate it as a wisdom and let go. Doesn't make it like strict knowledge that
So it is more about contemplation and self-reflection, what it can, let's say,
Yes.
tell.
Mhm. Yes, it's the Jinkies itself, for example, why they were different from human design, that it's not like it's not a rules that have been given to you, like, oh, you should be like this, you this type, you do only this and this. It's a self-exploration journey, like how Richard Rod said. That's why also I love the system, is it gives you freedom, that you have all answers within, like this keys is in your DNA already. So to activate them, in fact, you don't need anything. You need just to contemplate, go there. There is like 3 steps of transformation. Allow the shadow, embrace the shadow, then when you embrace the shadow, allow and embrace the shadow, then you embrace, activate, merge. Don't try to like be consciousness with it. I don't judge myself. I don't like blame. I give it space to let the energy move, and the more I give space, it's like kind of a tumbler, gift state. Is it's a transparent, transpersonal state. Cannot do anything, just to in a way surrender, just to merge with it. The same way as we're merging with higher consciousness, or merging with our higher bodies, in a way. So, and I've been working with Jinkies for like 9-10 years, some around this, and found it very triggering, and also very at the beginning, and also very helpful to understand myself, to see the patterns, and to know exact, for example, okay, what are the shadows I have? Because everybody's going to shadow, you do shadow work, shadow, but what are the shadows? And when I see them, for example, when I saw them in my chart and I was doing this golden path, then it's really helped a lot, especially understand, especially when I was doing sometimes these Richard Rod online courses, when we like for 1 month, we will work with Venus sequencing. It's like about relationship and your triggers and patterns. And for 1 month, we contemplated one key. So it was 6 months journey. And it was like, I met myself on the such deep levels, and the more I was like, contemplating, and there was some live webinars and things, and seeing the patterns in me, I was like, oh my God, this is really me. But the moment when you saw something, then you can give it space, and then it finally, like the letting go is happening. The thing is also what I found once in this journey. In fact, it's about one, not this 45, another key, but one of the key that's saying about letting go, that you can't make it happen. It's just happening at one point. It's not that you letting go. It's I think it's in the city of the 20 Jinkies, and it's a beautiful example of the leaf and the tree. And it's saying, like, when we come into the state of beingness, it's not that you letting go your ego. The same as a leaf does not go the tree when it's like the leaves are fallen. It's not that the leaf is letting go the tree letting go the leaf, and then the leaf fallen. So, and when the same as something can happen that in our system, that the letting go of some patterns, shadows, and something is happening, we just have to kind of stay open with it. And in a way, it's also connects forward later, because it brings interesting perspective of church, and connects with Christ. So maybe you felt intuitively to bring this image here.
I only know one communion.
Yeah. So, okay, let's start. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, just well, to a certain extent, I'm familiar with Jinkies. I also created my profile and yes, discovered my cities and shadows, and yeah, so I cannot say that I'm constantly contemplating this, but at the same time, I see through the course of my life how they are like emerging time to time, and I really see. And for example, my gift or city of or it's probably something else, lightness. This lightness, this is the way through which I'm attaining the city, actually. Yes, so it's also in my body, lightness in my mind, and everything. And this makes a lot of feeling with tension time to time. For some people, it's just constant state, or just permanently in tension. So that is why it's important. And as I see, when I'm eating something lighter, like fruits or whatever, or when I'm in this state of mind, when I'm just literally like flying, and I feel difference. So yeah, this is just something that I want to share.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, let's start with the 45 Jinki. Jinki of communion and synergy, the shadow of dominance, the gift of synergy, the city of communion. Program partner 26 Jinki, the key of pride, and the key of resources, in fact, and the key of a greatest power. The program partners are two keys that connected. They like a locker and a key, and they activate one another. The codon ring of prosperity with the 16 Jinki, 16 and 45, the codon ring of prosperity. So this key, in fact, it opens for us a question of prosperity, money, wealth, and how we relate with it. So we can contemplate also next days and today these questions and what arises in our system when we approach it. And let's start with dominance. Well, I would say also from my from a personal experience that it's pretty tough shadow. It is based on fear, and in a way it's based on a primal fear that we can find in animal kingdom, because this key is a lot connected with resources and food. Like the first and most important topic of this question, of this key, is food. And now the food transferred for us into money. But if we look like into the past, the food, what you needed to survive. So it's kind of in the shadow, it's about survival, and it's about hierarchy. Hierarchy. That in animal kingdom, we know it exists hierarchy. And either you need to kill or you will be killed, in a way. So it's always like surviving and checking for safety. And you know, we had a nest in our home, and we had like a little birds that hatched recently from eggs, and the parents, they've been feeding them for a couple of weeks. And today, in fact, in the morning, while I was having my ceremony and contemplating, I heard like a wings, like it's the sound of the wings, and I looked there, and I could see that there were two little birds, and they were like looking around, and they were checking like, is it safe if we can try to fly or not? If there is like anybody here. And they were so cute, but they didn't fly because I think they just saw me, and they need more privacy. But in a way, it's rooted in animal kingdom, like safety, protection, survival. And how I can get food, basically, or I will become food for somebody else. And the main also topic of this key is of the shadow of dominance is hierarchy. And in a way to come to synergy and communion, we had to transmute hierarchy first to get hierarchy, and then to synergy. And we have some examples that it started to happen in our like different communities, like businesses around the world, but still it's very new topic. And from what I heard, in fact, I don't remember who shared with me, but some like business person shared that a lot of examples when people in fact would try to organize like an open kind of get hierarchy environment, and when it's looked like this from the surface, on deeper level, there is still like one or two people who control everything. And yeah, it seems like kind of it's almost impossible to break the the pattern of the shadow as deep it is in not only in our own body, but like in the collective, in everywhere in the environment. Like in a way to overcome this shadow and the pressure of it, we need to overcome our need for food, basically for resources in a way, because that was always keep us stuck and doesn't mean that we need not to eat at all. Otherwise, in fact, Richard Rudd, he's saying that maybe one day it's going to be some different type of feeding, or maybe some nano pills or something. But for now, we have what we have, and yeah, so it's based on survival mechanism. And if you look in the program partner, the 26, its shadow works through a fear that it's never enough for me. And if I give to somebody, then I will lose and it will never be enough for me. So kind of, I need to compete, I need to dominate, like the dominance would said, in order to get higher on like hierarchy, hierarchy chain, I need to step on somebody's head. Like I need to take from somebody so I can get. And this was deeply kind of, I would say, rooted, yes, now in our DNA, in a way, as we have the animal kingdom also inside of us. And what we can do is we can first just bring our awareness towards this and contemplate these energies where we have dominance in ourselves, first of all, where we don't trust others, because it's a lot about trust. The shadow of this key, it's like it can't work with others. It doesn't believe that others like can do a good job, or they can be like dependent, or like not even independent, like they can do things without being controlled. Like that, I need to control everything. I need to, like, only I can make things work. And if I don't control, everything breaks apart. And then the person is suffer, because in a way doesn't want to control everything, but this shadow makes it happen, makes the person do this. And like this, they created more and more tension, more and more stress in the system that some point just leads for the system to break down. And kind of a cure for this key is a start from unconditionally giving. But for this, we need to believe that we have enough. And this is what is the hardest question topic for this key, for the shadow, because it always believes that it's not enough and that I need more. And it's also love to like own something, own property, own like a car, or like own certain sets, like obligations, like own crypto, own something that gives like a feeling of safety. When in fact, when we will move to a gift, we will see that safety we can never find through external things. The safety happens when there is a reprogramming in our DNA, when our cells and our system starts to operate together in a synergy and in a way exchange information that makes the system work as a one, like one biocomputer, in a way that creates not separation, but in fact creates the union. Did you feel the little guys? There was Pikachu once upon a time, but then he lost his ears, and I wanted to glue them back, but my friend, she said, no, you don't need to do, because Pikachu was the old version. Now it's a new version.
That's a very unusual combination of Yeshua and Pikachu.
And a pig and Egyptian
Locust.
like, как это?
But
Locust.
Yeah, this like scarabee.
yes,
Scarab, yeah.
Scarab, it's the same.
Scarab beetle.
Yeah,
Scarab is a form of beetle, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Desert.
This actually pretty much describes my life when I've been on my corporate job, when I've been married, because I was literally.
Oh, you've been married, I didn't know.
Yeah, I've been married for 10 years. Yes, and I was trying to control everything. At the same time, I also am, well, a lot of things were, I was responsible for almost everything also. And this is like also not an easy thing, but at the same time, when you start to play this game, and I mean, you are just going deeper and deeper, and then you understand that you just cannot really let this go. Even if the other person or partner can really do something independently, but you still think that you need to control this. And this indeed creates a lot of tension, huge amount of tension. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of the disease of, say, the modern world, the control. In fact, in the human design, there is a channel 4521, and it's a channel of like money in a way, resources and building things. And for 21st is the key of control.
Yes.
So we have it for like 45 originally is the key of king and queen. It's a key of like in ways like being very relaxed in a way in owning something, being very relaxed in that you're here to build something, you're here to also join people together, you're here to own things, but not in a way of like, you know, making it a prison, but in a way of like you're here to also be in touch with matter, with material life, the same also as the spiritual, and to in a way organize everything. But who really organize and controls is 21st.
Can this also be like translated like the balance of masculine and feminine, since it's king and queen?
Or it's maybe you save the questions or
Yeah,
the
maybe.
question, so she will share more about like the shadow, and then maybe your question will be answered.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I get a bit.
It's all my job as the team master to
To bring a balance.
the balance of the force.
Okay, yeah, I will answer later. But the shadow is also, yeah, it's kind of works a lot in family dynamic. In a way, it's been written that my family has to survive upon other family. And again, it's go deep to primal times where first people, the way of they've been living is killing animals and moving from one territory to another until they discovered that, in fact, if you stay in one territory and you do agriculture there, then in fact your chances to survive is much higher. And then it became a question not only of food, but of control in a territory. Because if you have this territory and it's good soil and you grow there, like whatever vegetables and things, and for example, there's a river nearby and everything, then you need to control the territory to survive. And then it goes like further to, for example, control your business, control your family, because it goes deeper to a fear that if I don't control it, I will lose it. And if I lose it, then I lose kind of my chances to survive. And it's deprogrammed like in our DNA in a way. And we have to understand this dilemma that it's not only like what we choose to think, but it's also how we're programmed on a deep biological level, cells level. And the only way how we can move is to first see how deep this fear inside to control and believe that I need to own something. Otherwise, if I don't, and if I don't claim my rights for this, and if I don't, like, for example, have certain documents or whatever rules, then things won't work. When contemplating deeper the scheme may rise the question also depending on money, like depending on anything that we think gives us a survival, to a point where we see that in fact life is always fully provides everything. The more we, in a way, the more we touch with our heart, the flow, and the more we, let's say, in alignment, the more life provides everything, instead of us trying to control and make everything happen. So it's like opposite way of living than we can see in our modern society right now. And honestly, I don't see this shadow being transmuted on a collective level for next like 200 years at least, because I feel it's very deep, and especially with like now artificial intelligence and everything, it's like it's all just going a lot into still controlling. And in a way, this key first, it has to put individual spirit in a priority. It has to break the family dynamics like that, you know, like family businesses kind of. Then if we see how society will then we had like this family controlling the life, and there is always an individual spirit that mature enough to break the patterns, but we have to put first like our own spirit on the first priority, and not try to satisfy other needs of others, I would say. And because it's not about one group of people thriving. It's about the whole collective thriving. It's about being transparent in a way of how energy and resources moves. It's it's in a way requires a different way of thinking that builds on trust and transparency rather than fear and control and thinking that, oh, I need to take from you in order to get somewhere. Oh, I need to keep mine at least. Otherwise, if I don't keep it, if I don't protect it, then like I'll lose it. And what else I want to say here was something else. Yeah, that maturity, I love this quote, that maturity is where we connect, kind of we activate maturity when we come back to inner safety within. That's the safety in ourselves. It's not like how much I have, in fact, or relaxation in my system, and gives me a state of presence and safety within. And that frequency goes out to the world and change things. And that we have to first bring awareness within to start look to this safety instead of trying to build kind of a net of illusion where we can think we feel safe, but that and it's just another illusion. Want to say something? I will answer you later.
Yeah, so the question which about this connection with those two gene keys, 21 and 45, about king and queen, if it's related to balancing the masculine and feminine aspects within us.
I would say it's more balancing, like the archetype 45 would be like owner of business, and 21st would be like the main manager, like the director controls everything. It's more like this dynamic, kind of that 45 is a king or queen is somebody that has vision. It's kind of create something, but it does not controlling things himself. For this, there is a 21st who love 45. It doesn't like to. It's like I can know myself. I don't like to. Like I like to build things, but I don't like to manage and organize. I have this, like, for example, my assistant, if like in terms of like some work that like what 45 can do, can bring resources together, can bring, like, for example, I have vision of something and I can kind of magnetize all things I needed, people, resources, everything that will create a right net for this to happen, can kind of like magnetize money, people, whatever needed for this to flow. And of course, like also managing it in a way, but not like this, all the like details, you know, like what this director is doing, not like going into all the layers and spending all the time of just like, it's more of creating the right management that works itself than like doing it all on your own,
Mm,
something.
okay. Uh, so it's more about the distribution, understand that there are people that
He's like, when we don't start with something, because think, oh, it's like too complicated, oh, it's like to do it myself, I need too much like resources and everything. When and you just hire and have the right people,
Mm,
then things just flowing so fast. You're like, oh my God, was it always possible like this? And I had this experience with myself. But for
Mhm.
example, I long time ago was launching like some online course and I needed website. But I didn't like to make website, and I also thought, oh, I can't now like hire somebody. And I was like postponing, and then I said, what if I just like message in my Instagram and I just ask who can do it, and I see if the people wants to like exchange. And then I did it, and I found a girl, and she even herself said, oh, maybe it's better like you work with Jinkies with me because I needed more, like I wanted it more than like money, for example.
Mm,
I was like, perfect. And then like she built me like this website for that course for a week. I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. All I need to do is I check what she said. I tell what needs to be like a little bit changed or like removed, or I give kind of my feedback, and then like it's done. And she likes to do this, and I like to launch the course.
mhm.
And we both met in what we needed. So yes.
We have the blue tea at the Taiwan Sun Moon Lake red tea
Mm.
from unknown date.
Mystery.
Mystery school, mystery tea.
This one's so rich in taste and so fresh. Wow.
Yeah.
Find a way to turn off this guy. Sorry. And then before I start with this one,
I don't need.
I feel my throat is good.
Oh. Actually, this your personal story you've mentioned, this is like pretty much also resonates with my story, because there are a lot of things that I can do, like a lot, but I'm not starting those just because of I do not know where to start, and in terms of building the website or that types of thing.
Yeah.
Hire me.
Uh-huh.
Can you do this?
But I mean, I have a creative interest in doing like meat marketing. Like I do that. I made, for example, our brochure, which is like almost 20 pages long and for a retreat. And this was just from like, this was creative spirit.
Yeah. I've tried to do a little bit on inspiration, and then he looked and he's like, no, it's not gonna work. He did himself. I was so happy in a way because I didn't even need to ask.
It was a synergy. We had a synergy because we both knew where we started and how we can best work together. No?
Yeah, I brought the idea of a retreat. You organized everything else.
Yeah. She pushed the retreat.
Oh, so
I had cold feet, but
the thing of 45, the main thing is делегирование, like
Delegation.
delegation.
Yeah.
The person with 45, it can't work. First of all, it can't work for others. It never can work in corporate job. It can't just work for somebody else's vision or something. then the next thing is it can't do all, it's not built, make like king or queen, like is it making everything himself or he has all the team and he just making the most decisions?
Yeah.
Like this, the same archetype. And a lot of people, and this is what we're facing this week, where we feel we need to move our energy, we need to start building something, but we postponed it because we try to organize all these little things when we don't need to. We need to find somebody, for example, who can do this and what will be the best alignment and to attract the resources of people or anything we need for our vision to grow.
Mhm.
And as soon as you allow yourself this, you will find that it's much easier than you thought.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. For me, dominance. I mean, I would say I still need to understand a bit more about this key. I feel like I'm still trying to understand more because there's a lot of similarities in other keys. This one, in a way, I found
Which, for example,
like sinner key.
it's familiar, yeah, because
I-
it's 44, 45.
And then when you mentioned about hunger and food, then there's other keys connected with that kind of primal instinct. So, but I would say from my own experience, yeah, like, dominance has tried so I think dominance is the like attempt to suffocate the spirit. Because I think spirit comes alive when we're not fighting one another, when we're just able to like be with one another, then that's magic. Yeah, it revives in a way. But normally the gifted people in the world, normally they are dominated by the people who don't want to allow that to express itself as well. And that maybe even starts, yeah, in your family, in your home, your like siblings, your parents, your then your friends, school, then the society, the systems, each one in a sorry, I get passionate now. Each one in a way is trying its best to stop us from synergy, to stop us from connecting with one another in more meaningful ways. Unfortunately, for example, not to be critical of my sister, but I was speaking with her yesterday. I haven't spoke to her in like a month because too much going on. Hold space for that. But yes, but I just saw the limits her own, her own dominating, she's my big sister, so her own dominating like hardware, how she understands her relationship with her little brother, and then also how she understands like her relationship to the world. And I think it comes from, yeah, like the pressure to perform, the pressure to need validation from others. And yeah, like last week's key of hunger. The hunger is not necessarily because it's not like I need food. It's because I'm trying to get something outside of myself, for external validation or to kind of hide the fact that I'm not like nourished from within. So this I'm seeing in different areas at the moment.
Thank you for sharing. For me, I would say the dominance. In fact, something if to share more about shadow. There's always two ways on how shadow works. There's a repressive and reactive nature. Repressive nature, the person who he just let himself kind of always be down by others. he can never speak his truth. He can never, in a way, like claim his truth. He would always just put his head down and will kind of be dominated as a fear of that. I can't say anything to like authority because authority is always right in a way. And it can go in a different ways. Like even I remembered now a story like from a school, in fact, when we were the class of mathematics, and the teacher was like explaining some new lesson and giving some examples. And I saw at some point that there was a mistake, like in some calculation or something. But I looked and like I saw nobody else like kind of recognized, and she also noted. And then I doubted myself. I thought, okay, maybe it's my mistake, or maybe it's like I calculated wrong or something. Like I didn't say that there was a mistake. And the next day, the next class, she said, when I was, and because we was writing like the classwork and then the homework, said when I was checking, I realized that it was a mistake. I made a mistake. Like she said, did anybody recognize this? And yeah, so of course I recognized, but it's like why you didn't tell? And because it's like idea that if it's somebody who is higher on the hierarchy, it's always right in a way. It can't be wrong. And then I had to kind of remove this idea. And then, yeah, it was in a way she said, if you anytime anybody see something, you have to say, because like I'm also human, I can also like make mistakes. But if anybody see, you just like should say about this. And in a way, yeah, I started to then whenever like I would say in my life that I created more the line, I would tell no matter who's in front of you, tell kind of in a way. I don't tell, and then like it can be discussed, can like make a mistake or something, but like I would say, I don't have fear of authority anymore in my life. And there is another way of the shadow is reactive. Is when somebody is kind of on a hierarchy and that it has to control and then has to take more and more and more and take from others. And it's still not building anything from synergy, I would say. That, yeah, it's not letting others put himself down, but it's still not creating anything from synergy. And in a way, separating herself from the whole. Yeah, so the kind of two patterns of the shadows. And I would definitely see in my life that, I mean, before it was a lot of this shadow and a stories here that like, if you want to do something good, do yourself. Others will fuck it up any case. And of course, while I had this belief, then the life was always confirming that others would fuck up. Even if I try to trust, for example, with some whatever projects or something, then others didn't do something right or something, and until I kind of removed that belief from my system. And yeah, but I definitely see that there is more possibility to work in synergy and to kind of allow and to open more into this gift and in a way the power it holds. As a dominance, it makes us kind of alone. It makes us separated. We can't trust. The main issue of this shadow, it can't trust others, never can trust. because it doesn't have safety within. So it feels that it's never safe to trust anybody. And that's, yeah, I need to do everything myself. Even if like kind of I gave a task or something, I need to manage and control everything. Example, and this is not also how it works. And I think that the best way is like with the kids, kind of, you know, you have to, like, for example, mother or father with the kids, you have to explain something, let them grow, but also like kind of manage, but not in a way of taking their power away. So it's like tricky situation. And yeah, I feel it's enough. Do you have more questions about the shadow?
What's the code on ring? Is it with the
Prosperity.
yeah.
The 16, yeah. Hunger of this one is that in a 35, it's a hunger just itself, and hunger is a need to have something that will fulfill the void. Either it's a physical hunger, emotional hunger. When with 45, it's not like hunger itself, it's more a reaction on even of a fear of potential hunger and a fear of like, this will not be enough. So I need to either control or claim my rights on something or take from others. But if I don't do it, then it will be never enough for me, something like this. And I can't make with others, I can't build with others, because if I try, then at some point they will take from me. So I can't trust to work in synergy because others are not reliable. And like if I try to do it, then they will take from me and I will lose. Something like this.
Mhm. Okay.
But I see also here a kind of a correlation with this, so I cannot recognize this in others.
Mhm.
It's like a reflection of my internal state also.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is also my story because I was trying to prove myself to my mother and then to others, because I've never been recognized like as worthy to do this or to do that. And this also has this imprint on my life. Yeah, and I did a lot of work actually just to allow myself really to just to feel worthy, not being in need to prove myself or to validate myself in front of others, because yeah, we are already perfect as we are, but most of the times there are those behavioral patterns or stereotypes from either parents, yes, or society or whatever the place we've been grown at. Yeah, and this is kind of very tricky thing. I mean, because sometimes you simply just don't see it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when someone will just point it out, then you are not able to recognize that it exists within you.
I forget what I wanted to say. I was listening to you and I wanted to say something.
And
And yeah, and probably from this point of view, it's also very easy to be dominated by others because you cannot recognize your self-worthiness. And that's why, I mean, you should just rely on someone else and you just not speak. You do not speak your truth. You do not express yourself authentically.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I remember it's about, I would say, when we are in our own genius, how it's supposed to be in your life for you, not in our own genius, and we try to like imitate or to find safety in others, then in a way we will always lose because the life will always point back to yourself. Can we go back, please? It just became hot.
I warned you. Oh, but
Sorry.
my niece will never see the end.
So the synergy. Mm,
Can I just say maybe one last thing? I just I needed to share that. Yeah, like as we started to like navigate the shadow, I started to see, yeah, like how the patterns have been like of dominance have been very much like lurking around recently and kind of for me the how dominance shows up for me is a lack of belief in my own like what you were saying, a kind of a lack of like self-worth, self-esteem. And then what happens is others will naturally dominate. If you're not supporting yourself, others will quote unquote try to, but they're taking from you, but they are like dominating your space, your own like aura, your own personal space. So that's what I've observed with the shadow.
mhm. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, in fact, it would say there are two polarities of the shadow. There are two ways to come through that. If somebody is in a repressive polarity, so it's dominated, then it to kind of come to a gift, it has to learn to start say truth, say the boundaries, yeah, build the self-worth, to start in a way бросить вызов. Like, don't be afraid of authority and be able to sometimes even be ready for conflict or argument if it's needed, if you need to say the truth, and don't be afraid of losing somebody, especially it will be connected with the family members, because it's where the dominance is like mostly of a clue. Say the family is built on dominance in a way. That's why in a way now, like let's say the New York Horse or all these quotes about building new relationship and changing the dynamics of masculine and feminine, where they both in the power, the both in still there is a masculine and feminine polarities, but it's not like a traditional patriarchic model. It's a different model. Well, I'm in my power, you in your power, and we create like symbiosis instead of just a closed system, where in this closed system there is no connection with outside world. It's just like kind of closed within itself. And then in fact it's not sustainable, because then it can only like then be like kids or like, for example, sisters, brothers, relatives, but it's still closed system where it does not exchange with the world fully, and it's still like building this it's still dominance, basically. It's still building control. That doesn't mean that, of course, the family has the love and like the deeper connection, but in a way we're also here to explore all that. We're kind of here to explore deeper what the family is. And so with the first repressive, kind of have to speak out, you have to step out for yourself. And I said, don't be afraid to lose anybody when you do this. The second,
Or lose anything.
or anything, yeah.
Yeah.
The second is when if you are an reactive nature and you're dominating, then you need to learn to trust, then you need to learn to open, then you need to learn to communicate with others, and you need to learn build with others and share the responsibility. say, I would say it's about sharing their responsibility with others that the dominance can never do. Can you smell?
Sorry, I haven't been doing that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, wanted to put that.
Thanks. Pagoda.
What is?
It's it's a pagoda tea, red tea from Yunnan province in China, high quality. If you like the fragrant, sweet body teas, these are Inca family.
I smell that. Oh. Yeah, so this, you want to say something else, or we go to gift?
I think it's also very important to be aware of your boundaries and to respect your boundaries and boundaries of others. So not to really to cross someone else's boundaries, but at the same time, being really able to see yours. And if there is a need actually just to tell someone that you are now crossing my boundaries. So this is actually also the way. Just to tell, and yes, without the fear, probably yes. Because the circumstances might be very different. I mean, in terms of fear of hurting someone or fear of like something physical interaction, especially for men. Because when you're like in the, I don't know, in the childhood, or I mean, even now, there is always a kind of a possibility that someone can cross your boundaries in a physical way, causing you damage and harm. At the same time, if you will not be respecting your own boundaries, I mean, you will be this underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody, I would say, were in a repressive tendency more, and the person learning to respect the boundaries and to speak the truth, it's anyway, it's normal that at some period of time it will be more like a rebellion. If the spirit, if the energy were repressed for a long time, it can't just, just, and I go to like maturity straight away. Even we have this, think about triangle victim, and there are 3 levels of triangles of victim. We know like just like victim, aggressor, savior, but in fact there are this like the lowest one, and there are 2 more or 3 more until we come to a master where there is no any more polarities. And from to victim to there is a second triangle. Victim becomes a hero, and the hero is somebody who it's become kind of a rebellion in a way. It's throwing challenges for himself. It's not afraid anymore. And of course, like something will be burned. It's kind of, it's normal process. It's like a teenage state. For example, there's a state of when teenager, and if there is a not healthy way, then it's created 2 patterns. Either the teenager were repressed or it were rebellion. But of course, we go into healthy stage where you respect your boundaries and you respect others. And in fact, you can respect the boundaries of others only when you start to feel and respect your own. Otherwise, if you don't feel and don't respect your boundaries, you will simply not feel and never understand the boundaries of others. Because it's like a child. For child, there is no boundaries of his mother. The child believes that mother belongs to him. Since the child, when she cries, he comes to feed. So it's like he believes, he doesn't think differently, because he doesn't with his mother, he's in this like kind of codependency that needed at the time for child to survive. But a lot of people, they still in that mentality, even they're like already 30, 40, 50, 80 years old. So we have to understand that at first I start here to respect my boundaries, and then yeah, it will be fiery for some time. And it's okay. It's like when we've been in one polarity, we have to, like, it's like a swing. We have to go to another so then we can come into middle. It's just like psychotherapy. Otherwise, I remember when I was in this like my spiritual awakening, not even spiritual, but just like a healing process, and I started to see and respect my boundaries and awaken my Kali. My just a voice speaking about my boundaries would sound like fuck off to everybody. And it has to be like this because there was still a fear of like, oh, what happened if I would say, and kind of it would be more fiery. It would be more like yeah, like rebellion in a way, until I had enough experiences where I was saying my boundaries and claim, yes, some relationship fail, some relationship grow deeper, but I had experience of loving, respecting, trusting myself, showing up for myself, and seeing how it was creating interaction with others until my system could relax and say, okay, like now I don't need to scream about my boundaries. I can just simply say also out of respect to others, but it has to be a time, like kind of like the to fulfill this gap for somebody. No, gift of synergy. Synergy requires trust. But first, the trust has to appear on our cellular level as trust within ourselves to the God, basically, and to the life, to our intuition, to our heart, that our system will start to operate on another level. That the synergy first is not it can't be formed outside until it's formed inside. Until our own system, like and everything in our system starts to work as a one our
unit.
Yeah, union, like kind of
Unit.
what unit where it's based on frequency of love and trust and cooperation. And it in fact it requires a huge quantum leap from a fear and survival and the fear of I can lose anything to a fear to a mindset that I can never lose if I give from my heart. If I follow my heart, if I follow my truth, the truth of my soul. And yeah, I also know it from my own experience many times when I've been kind of jumping out of the cliff and letting go of different things that for a logical mind could seem like a disaster, but there is always a trust that I can never lose something. I can create a space if I let go something, so then something new, what is more alignment to me, to me will come. Otherwise, how something new can enter my field if I still hold on all things that is not serving me anymore. Right? It's job, relationship, like clothes, whatever we love to hold on. You know, it's like the shadow of 45 just reminded me of, we have like a book now, Russian culture calls Война и мир, War and Peace by Dostoevsky.
Tolstoy.
Yeah, Tolstoy, yeah, sorry.
Right.
Really?
War and Peace.
Really, you read?
Study film.
Maybe not this one. Which book was where there was like a character? No, I think it was another one.
How tall the man, this one?
Это like, как его? Короче, мужчинка, он все собирал. Он, типа, он был очень богат, но он все собирал. В итоге он там носил дырявые вещи.
Probably it's the collector.
И в итоге,
There is it.
и в итоге он умер, в итоге, как бы в своем богатстве, но он ничего не использовал.
I know the similar actually book written by John Fowles, The Collector. So he was collecting. Maybe it's something different, but I mean, yes, the idea is clear.
So there was, I don't remember exactly which book, but there was a character, like an old man, who he had a lot of wealth,
Yeah.
but he was not spending it. And he was like collecting, wear himself like old clothes, the whole thing, and was very greedy. And then he just died, kind of it's like he had everything, but he lived in the poverty and died in this. And then he even didn't use his resources because he also didn't have any like family or anybody to share with. And this would be a mindset of the shadow, also this 45 Jinki. When in a give level, you start to work as a team. And in fact, I saw once a beautiful example of this key when I was given a Jinki's transformative game. And in this game, like plays group of people, that time it was 4 people, it was 2 couples, in fact, that have been playing. And it was interesting because one couple, they were like super spiritual, and second couple, they were more like material, and the man, he was from business world and just started to try a little bit of spirituality. And then like there is several rules in the game, but basically it's kind of it finishes when you come to a gift, when you transmute the shadows and you come to higher frequency. Or you can also like kind of buy a gift if you have enough, like there is a little kind of coins in the game. And the thing is, if one person comes into a gift, then everybody also receive like 2 or 3 coins, 3 coins. So there was this business guy, he realized the thing, and then what he started to do, he brought like awareness that it's not about one of us winning. It's about us helping each other. And like when one girl, for example, needed money, like he said, let's all now give to her. So she had enough to buy a gift. And like then the frequency rises when one person comes into a gift, the person comes to share the gifts, and it's like the whole field is changing. And then also like the money is going to everybody. So it's like, then I saw how they all started to cooperate as a one group. And they all started to like, for example, these resources just share within one another. For example, there could be a person who had 0 money, and the next turn, everybody's giving to this person. And it's like, then they very fast all in fact come to higher frequencies. And at that time, it was probably only one time really I saw really this energy, I like how it's working. As people, they all let go their individual needs, kind of survival or like individual interest, and they started to operate as a team and a synergy. And that was brilliant. It's like I saw like, oh, this is in fact this 45 key, this is how it's kind of supposed to be, because then they all win, they all won. And they helped to activate the gifts of one another and completely erasing the competition. and just build it absolute trust kind of to one another, even if they saw each other, not the first time, but like not maybe slow time something. And this is in a way where we're going as a species, yeah, but still far away to go. And sorry, let's see.
Way.
And but when we really start to come into the synergy, our DNA starts to, our system produce different hormones that bring and keep our frequency on a higher level. That's create another chain reaction within our DNA that slowly erase the survival mechanism create first as the one with life source, then it operates differently in partnership, and then like it was collective and like more and more kind of it's growing. There is also one book, interesting book, where you can see this rising of consciousness through levels called integral meditation. Whereas the author he explained, I think 11 kind of level of consciousness and the way how you would think, what would be your reactions, what emotions you experience if you start on one of the levels. The last one, integral level, where you can influence the global processes. And again, when you're like one with a global, you're not anymore just like focused on your own things, you are connected with the global. And that's like initial level, your mind thinks differently, you have different mindset, you will have different reactions on, but for example, the same thing happened, people on a different level will react absolutely differently, will act absolutely differently upon this. And it's, yeah, it's a very interesting book. I recommend it. When I listened to this book, I a lot of also realized about myself at the time. I will send later the so you can listen like audiobook, this one. And yeah, the synergy is like when we kind of come into a higher level, when we can share the responsibility. The point of synergy is that we trust that the group has self-organizing principle itself within it. And yes, maybe it will take more time for this self-organization kind of find its way when all individuals, they came to like their gifts and everything and the teams work together, but on a longer term perspective, it's more sustainable. Then when one person controls, because like it say, okay, you can't do this, you in this shadow, like you there, I need to control everything myself. In a synergy, we know that we all have different talents and we combine by our talents. We don't try, like, for example, if this is my talent and this is, and you have another talent, we don't try to compete. Like I stay with my genius, you stay with your genius, you stay with your genius. It's not about I being able to do anything or everything or you. It's about where our geniuses where they meet and how we build from that, where and then we support one another in this, and we don't kind of
Dominate.
yeah, we don't dominate, we don't compete with one another. And this also changed the way of linear thinking, because in a linear thinking there is a belief that the universe and everything moves from organization to chaos, when in fact, like a long time, like several years ago, I don't remember exact the dates, but they were discovered that the chaos has its own structure, but it's just not a linear, it's fractal. And this changed kind of the whole perspective of the universe and everything, that the chaos, it's not just a chaos, and like the chaos is not lack of structure, it's a higher structure. it's a like high intelligence structure that the linear logical mind can never understand. The same way as like masculine can never fully understand feminine because it's the kind of, it's always a chaos that exists in another, in a way, dimension, but it can, how to say it? Yeah, communicate and
Understand.
by connecting within their feminine and creating the unity within, understand that also in a way like the life, the cosmos, because it's also built on chaos in a way, like fractal patterns. So the synergies, what building on fractal patterns instead of linear. And then the synergies exist in this fractal dynamic. It's not existing in a linear way because in a linear it will be always hierarchy. But when we go to fractal dynamic, we see the absolute different way of organization life. Any questions or contemplations?
Yeah. Yeah, firstly, thanks for sharing this. I think synergy is definitely a futuristic quality. I think that humanity need the next quantum leap will be when we are understanding like in a symbiotic way, right? That we're like, which is what any case of science is pointing towards. Like we will have to merge with AI, merge with all these things. This is the idea that like everyone will kind of like make a unity, like diverse but unified in a way, which we don't have at all nowadays. And yeah, what I see is the synergy. Like I remember listening to some business person, in fact, share in a way, business in fact works kind of through this key. Like you need the business kind of educator was saying one of the most important things for successful business is to like agree in a way. Like you have to be able to like in a way raise your frequency, not see them as like an opposition, but see them as an opportunity, as a way to like create a synergy with them. Because otherwise business is not going to happen in a lower frequency. Like it's not business then, it's kind of just dominance, right? So this is super important, I think, when we talk about the future and how we also create new systems. And yeah, you know, it also I see how we have to also understand one another and understand ourselves in a way, like what's the role of each individual, because unless, and this is where I say like the paradigm always shifts at this point. It's like you need to understand that everything has a value. Nothing is not valuable. It's just like, can you see it? And that's what like really enlightened people can do. Is they can see everything is valuable, right? Everything's God. And yeah, like for example, even like from like the tantric perspective, right? The tantra, there's not a good or a bad force in the universe. It's like positive and negative, or like you said, masculine and feminine, like, and this kind of brings you to a higher perspective that's all one's complement. There's a synergy. There's always that's what's explained in like the yoga science. That's why I found it very appealing to me, is because I saw that. It's like, yeah, you know, just because it's a piece of dirt or soil or whatever doesn't mean it's like not any more sentient than I am. Because if I did not have this earth, how will I stand? Like, how will I be me? So it's a symbiosis, it's a synergy that we have with the plants. You know, they respect us equally as we respect them in a way. to be on the earth. So it's kind of, yeah, the gift needs a big shift to understand it's all one unity.
Not both fear and separation mentality. Let me just check time. I can have 2 minutes.
And there is also one aspect about this synergic that let's say imagine relationship between two people. It doesn't mean that there are like lovers or any other kind of relationship, but the way how they treat each other can be in a way that this serves both without harming one another. So it's just for the highest purpose of both of them, and without any violence or anything that can really cause any kind of discomfort even. So this is also synergy, and they're just sharing their values and the assets, knowledge, whatever it can be. And they're growing each other much faster because one can work as an amplifier and another like accelerator. So they're really complementary to one another.
There is even I don't remember exactly, but like the study about the different way how our brain works and like that kind of which role we are more comfortable with and how we perceive the information. And also if we speak about synergy, it's well said that you need others to fully activate your gifts as well as you help them to fully activate yours. It's kind of being a human is a part of always being reflected. Reflected.
Oh.
Otherwise you can't fully access your own talents because they have to be shared or reflected with others. And yeah, this is a part of synergy. It's going beyond in a way, yeah, it's going beyond the hierarchy. It's expanding it, and it's going to this like, another way of. It's quantum leap because it's going to another level of seeing the reality, as I said, from like linear kind of flat perspective to more multidimensional and fractal perspective, where we have to just change the way we think, we operate, that build on trust, being on inner safety within, that I feel within myself. So it has to first the inner alchemy happen. So that then it can be also shared with others in a way. But also the part of synergy in a group dynamic that if somebody's going into the shadow in the group is also try the process. Like you don't try to say, yeah, you can help, you can hold space, but you're not trying to save, you just giving love and patience as well as you can give love and patience to yourself when you're observing your own shadow. It comes more to, in fact, it's also CDO 44 Jinki that's before is that it's saying when somebody's in a shadow, like it's 44 and 50, the harmony that when you're on a CDO level, you see that even shadow, it serves the harmony. Even shadow is harmony, and it's needed at that point to also activate something. So never, as you've been saying about tantric perspective, kind of in universe, nothing ever wasted. It's all transmuting, transforming, and creating you and serving the higher purpose always. So you could never, in fact, lose anything. And this is when it comes to synergy, what start to happen. And then we move to communion. And this is another quantum leap because we go to a stage of where it's transpersonal. If a gift is still a process, still like even if it's shared in a group dynamic, but it's still like there's their individual. When on a CD level, it's not anymore individual. It's like inviting the God consciousness into your system in a way. It's even the way it named communion. It's as a metaphoric of a process in a church. There are 9 levels of initiations in a church, and there is, I don't remember, it's 4th or 5th that calls communion, where somebody's get kind of full access into the church in a way of being a priest or something like this. And it has to go through certain initiation. Also, it's about eating something. And while
Right,
yeah.
the Eucharist.
Yes, yeah. And it's like, it's of course it's metaphoric process, but it's in a way of feeling the union with the divine, and giving your lowest body to your highest body, or opening your lowest body to receive the light of your highest body and merge with it. In a way, we have like a core, we have everybody in our personal chart have a core wound. We also call it vocation. And this is kind of a point of the deepest
What is it?
core wound and
Core.
vocation.
Okay.
It's like red and blue. And this is the point of deepest fear and pain, and like your victim and all this, like the suffering. And also this is the point of your power and strength. And also what is the core wound is that little point that separates lowest body from the highest bodies. So the physical, mental, and physical, emotional, mental from causal, Atmanic, and Buddhistic. And when we are not ready to receive the light of highest body, and it comes to us, but we like playing the role, like there are 6 main patterns: repressive, denying, shame, rejection, blame, and separation. Then we like play now these patterns, also like then connect with our personal jinki that we have. And this kind of a story of a victim is going to be played out until we, in fact, we can't heal the core wound, but we can understand the way how it works and kind of open ourselves to receive this light of the divine. So the core wound, it's a portal, in fact, that becomes a portal of initiation, a portal of transformation, where we allow the light of our higher bodies come and not even heal the lower's body, but just to bring everything in like highest harmony, or like alignment with the divine in a way. Nothing needs to be healed. It just needs to, yeah, like recognize synergy of the light and the highest on a different level. So this starts to happen that we want to name it, and until our lower body is more and more relaxing into it, and this like recalibration process is happening. Yeah, so this is just, in a way, this is just simply it. But while this light is coming and emerging, we have all this purging, purification, shadow work, and all the things. But also we can just learn to stay in the light and trust that the light can do everything, can do all the kind of job. We just have to stay open. 1 second. Okay. And then we come into communion. I bought a new chocolate to try for the prayer. Have any questions about this sharings? How do you feel it?
There are, of course, there are parts of which I can like track through my life and see. Um, at the same time, I'd say I understand that there is still a lot for me to learn from that, and that is why now it's more like really I'm in the state of witnessing what is happening in my life, self-reflecting and just observing how whether my physical body reacts to it or just emotional or mental or energetical, I mean in different ways. So yeah, it's just I would say a deep learning process. And of course, it's never about the destination. It's a lifelong journey. And I think I just, yeah, are quite a lot of takeaways from it.
Uh-huh. We missed a little bit of.
I know, but
Uh-huh.
um, you know, like city is for me more about this the experience itself. It's not anymore a realm of like what I'm. There's no like I am consciousness in a way, right?
Is it the new one?
It's
Yes.
where, yeah,
Basically.
just need to.
We can. It's okay. We can record it, whatever. For me, the step from the gift to the city is coming in the form of going from I am consciousness to unity consciousness, and not anymore like having words, like because the word is still on some level like coming from a sense of meaning, like me, like what do I know? What does my soul know? But in city state, and the God like in unity consciousness, messenger of God, one of our message, the communion. This might be your like Heavenly Father, but in this moment, we are all like sharing this energy. We are all like part of this offering, and so I feel the communion is it's happening when we share, when we don't anymore hold on to anything that is our own. We don't label things as our own anymore, and we start to see it all as one offering. That's what's beautiful about like the service industry, and like if you're in the like wellness or service or something like hospitality.
Oh, now in the service industry.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's my career path in a way. It's like I observe this special thing that's like I'm receiving, but really I'm like sharing. Like we're all like in one kind of we all get to share the experience together, like if you're just in an office job and you're just in an office job and you're like doing like things, you don't get to experience. You're actually giving, but in giving, you're receiving equally and sharing that experience together. And I think that's is the next like quantum level is that we're in our hearts and we experience each other as ourselves, and then it doesn't matter. I'm just channeling heart wisdom right now, but if I was to say more about the communion, it's more like for example, the bread and the wine, for example, that Jesus gave to his disciples is a way of him saying that like everyone equally is a part of me, is a part of God.
There was this example in the transmission which got that in a way the brain also the bread is like the one body and the wine is like a blood and
So
what's through DNA connected everything.
yeah, like it's a genius, hidden in the bread and wine, the most like indulgent. He used the most indulgent ingredients that humanity ever had is bread and wine. And he said, like, this in fact unites us because in this moment, this bread and wine is what connect us all.
Well, he was tantric, so of course he would spread and wine.
Yeah, but, still, he was showing that we're all, even in bread and wine, we can
If
see.
you ever read manuscripts of Maria Magdalena, you would see that Jesus and this whole thing very differently.
Well,
And you know, Asher, it's different perspective a little bit. I mean,
I read the Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
the manuscript of Magdalene.
I read the Gnostic Gospel of Mary.
Maybe it's something for another now.
Well, actually, there's the Gospel of Mary. It's about Jesus' disciple, Mary Magdalena.
She was his twin flame.
Yes.
Oh, not his even. They're just one soul in ways. Wait, she was played this kind of also the role of the spirit rise to higher consciousness through sacred practices that that energize their spiritual body, that helps to overcome the death or the fear of death.
This is a example of a communion. In fact, I remember reading something literally today about someone did you send me? I read somebody in the comment section though, who said about like the union of Christ and
I sent you last night, yeah.
And in fact, it's so aligned with this key because like the message was that the the twin flame, the twin flame is the ultimate expression of the communion because there is two, but they in no way would ever like see themselves as different from one another. That's the ultimate communion. It's a transaction of pure spirit. It's not a transaction of real or relativistic means. It's a means to an end, or end in itself as a Kantian principle, but treat one another as if you treat yourself as a universal principle. So this is the twin.
Let's have this prayer as a way to connect with the soul and with God.
And with chocolate.
Nintendo?
Oh. Mhm. Crystal Dynasty. Mm.
I feel there is a coconut inside, whether it's a coconut. I'm allergic.
Allergic?
Oh,
Really?
uh,
Is it very much allergic?
It's not that I want, I would say, to experience.
I will say to you that there is no coconut.
At all?
No,
Neither.
what you're tasting is the soy. So are you allergic to soya?
No. And I mean, no oil, no.
No oil. There's almond butter. Like there's it says almond pure cocoa butter. Then there's soy, vanilla, raw sugar cane, and cocoa beans.
Okay, that's good. So probably that's.
It's okay.
So it's good
Okay.
you didn't give this one because this one has coconut sugar.
Yeah, the jungle gold uses like coconut base instead of like you need an emulsifier. You need something.
Yeah,
that-
yeah, yeah.
that create a communion inside the chocolate.
Yeah, I think it's soy. Tasty.
It's soy.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So,
I love soy.
I mean, since I developed a very high sensitivity in my body because the way how I told it, how I literally sense energy, and also the same way I can feel like the processes in molecular level or sometimes even deeper.
Mhm.
So I can feel that my body responding immediately, and I'm like really grasping this feeling and seeing
Okay.
what it is.
So you're feeling your body responded now with something.
Yes, so it is when I'm talking about energy and how I can feel the energy, it is as sturdy as this. So this is literally how I can sense. I mean, with my palms, with all my body, and the same way what is happening inside, I see a very, very clear, accurate picture of what's happening inside, whether it's anything. So that is why, I mean,
Is it a sixth sense or is it one of you have an advanced like sight or smell or ear?
no, it's beyond all those five senses. We can call it, I mean,
A sixth sense.
yes, we can call it sixth sense, but it cannot tell too much unless you will have the direct experience.
Yeah, six is like an umbrella. Like it can mean many things.
Well,
Umbrella?
Umbrella is like means one term for many. It covers many things.
you know, in all those clear something, whether it's clairvoyance or audience or anything. I mean, there are also like 8 different types of the perception. And it is quite difficult actually to explain what it feels like, because it's different. It is like extra sensory into reality in new modality.
Of kind of you sometimes feel like you don't have a skin. Very transparent to everything.
It's in a way it's kind of a subtle thing, but it's very much real. So I can spread my palm like this, and I can literally feel with my palm literally the water, the person, animal, crystal. I can tell the difference, the different qualities of the energy. I mean, it's not like something conceptual that, oh, it's a good vibe here or that kind of thing. This is like very, very much sensible to me, because I can literally like touch it.
Energy body kind of you operates.
So this is generally speaking what is when we are speaking about the light body activation, this is also the part of this, because this is something that I can interact with other people. I can sense it. I can interact with it. I can sense the energetic system. And I mean, there is more to it. And of course, I mean, in tantric traditions, this is also about like developing
Yeah.
the type of things
But this is also like,
Then you become like how I live in this world is when everything is so sensitive.
well, like gene keys in a way. Like this, the whole, like what I've come to notice. In fact, this is a like quite a paradox. Like when you understand this properly, is the gene keys is a connection with like 64 cities, and each of those cities relates to, for example, in the tantric system, would be like a yogini. It's like it's a technology that connects us to like a higher sense of reality, and in fact, like what I've noticed is if you keep the container very like fixed in the city and don't go into other things, is like you notice that it's like city is really tangible, and you start to, through like Katya's like channeling, she can actually like invite this energy like in a way different, like you invite this energy into the field, and then it's really perceptible. Like
Just the more we open our like yes, yeah, the more our system open, the more. When I was working first with Jinkies, it's not that I was focusing on cities. I was more doing different healing, spiritual, dynamic meditations. Like basically, the more my system became clean, the more the CD, whatever you can call them, were appearing, even if it was not like a goal to experience CD. But yeah, I in a way, what you're seeing feels like remind me of the Lucy, the movie, the Lucy.
Yeah.
You didn't see. Second person, I recommend this movie. It's like when she like let's say something was happening with a woman and she was increasing like how the like capacity of her brain, and she started like to send everything. She was able to switch on electronics, like, and then more and more she could remember a memory of the milk of her mother when she was like kid, and or the newborn baby, and like sucking the milk and everything. We kind of go into this in a way extreme sensitivity, let's say, but it's also the more you become transparent, because there is no boundaries basically. So we have them in a way, but at the same time, the why this every city is not personal, not transparent, because every city is already beyond the personality. It's like the gift is still the gift would be the highest possibility for human being to experience and to share. And even inside the gift, there's still a kind of a levels of how it can be experienced. It's not like it's just one. I also I love example of how Richard had shared. It's like the rice fields, these levels. So it's not like, again, just it's again fractal. It's not just one quality. And then the more we come into higher order of gift, then it's also like become merging with city in a way, and then we go beyond because it's not anymore. So the example is through you, but at the same time you are this, and at the same time it's also in a way the point of the Jinkies is to embody your CD, but through embracing the shadow, because we see that there is a seed of CD in every shadow, and to open up the seed, you have to go like in the mud of the shadow. And maybe on this point we go to a little meditation.
Can I quickly go?
Yes.
Is it here?
yeah, just to
Slide,
the
yeah.
curtains.
Maybe I'll just. for the Mother Earth. Feeling our root system going deep into the earth. And when we breathe in, we connect with the energy of the earth, bringing it into our system. And now we also connect with the energy of the source and bringing it also into our system through our spine. Divine masculine principle. There is a light in our hearts, a rainbow sphere around us. With masters, with your soul, with teachers or guidance of your soul. And with the 45 Jinki. And let's connect now with the shadow.